Peace and blessings, y'all. In this corner boxing 24. Good evening, good evening. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope everybody's doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good on this side as always. God is great, God is good, and I definitely can't complain. So, we're 12 days out. 12 days, man, out from this fight. Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. Undisputed. And, I can't wait. But I will say there's some things that's on my mind that I don't really, one thing I definitely don't like, and two things I don't appreciate. So one thing is, I was watching episode 2 of the All Access, and Derrick James was watching highlights of Errol Spence, of Bud Crawford. And he's watching the highlights, and it got to the fight where Terrence Crawford, his mother came in the ring. They celebrate a lot. His mother, his wife, his sisters, they celebrate. So his mother came in the ring and started dancing, and they were dancing around. And so Derrick James made a comment that his mother is not going to be dancing on July 29th. Now, I thought Derrick James, man, was a little more respectful, a little more mature than that. Because that's definitely something you can think when you see it, but you don't have to say it. You keep that to yourself. Because now you're bringing my mom's into it, man. You're bringing his mother into it. Like, that's not cool at all. And I noticed Derrick James, man, I don't know if maybe he has a little edge because he's questioning a lot about Terrence Crawford, because he's always saying Terrence Crawford is athletic, but that's not enough. You don't give him credit for his skills. But him making a comment about his mom not being able to dance on the 29th, be careful, man. Shouldn't have said it, but be careful, man. Everybody might be dancing in that family, in that ring after that fight, based on what happens. Be careful what you ask for, man. Be careful what you say. Also, Errol Spence, the weight bully. And listen, there's no denying his skills. Absolutely not. No denying his skills. He has a lot of good skills, okay? I'm not saying it's going to be no easy fight for either one of them. They're going to be fighting. But one thing that I don't like, the second thing I don't like, is him not wanting to give credit where credit is due to Crawford for his fights with Kell Brook and Sean Porter, but Kell Brook in particular. So I'm going to say this again. Sean Porter beat Kell Brook in 2014. You fought Kell Brook in 2017. And Triple G fought him in 2016 of September. You fought him in May, which was 8 months later. He was damaged worse than what you did to him, Errol Spence. So if it was okay for you to fight him and get credit, then why is it not good for Bud to get credit when he didn't fight him until 3 years later? And Kell Brook was coming off of 3 wins. And out of the 3 fights, he stopped 2 of them. And their combined record out of the 3 fighters was 78 wins and only 5 losses out of 3 different fighters. And he stopped 2 of them. So how much damage did you really do? If he could fight you after Triple G did the most damage, and then you did your damage, and then 3 years later, he got in the ring the next year after you fought him as well. So obviously he was damaged, but he had enough to get back in the ring and fight. So it can't go both ways. You can't take credit away from Crawford, but then you get all the credit. No, you said he was damaged twice. No, he was damaged once before you, worse. Because Triple G hit way harder than you. That's a fact. So you got to give the man credit. If you don't want to give him credit, then I guess, he just going to earn it on the 29th. But you should always give a man credit, man, what credit is due, man. As far as his 140-pound venture, undisputed, he said himself that this fight means more based on who you are, because Ndongo wasn't a pound-for-pound fighter, but he was the champ, and he beat him. And he became undisputed, man. And that's just what it is. He fought in other countries. He beat a lot of people. And he was an undefeated fighter. So that's who he beat to get where he had to get to, man. Just like you beat some people to get to where you had to get to. That's how boxing goes. But you got to give the man credit. You should give the man credit. He's more than just athletic. You don't get to 39-0 with 30 knockouts just being athletic. It's not gonna happen, because along the way, somebody gonna buzz you, hurt you, and then all that could be knocked off. But that didn't happen because he has some skills, man. He has some skills, and he carried his power up to 147. So because you don't want to give him credit for Jeff Horn, who had just fought Manny Pacquiao, and I agree Manny Pacquiao beat him, but that don't mean that he didn't give Manny Pacquiao no fits either. He's a big, rough, young welterweight, okay? And that's who Bud beat coming in the door. I'm sure if you would have fought him, he would have gave you a little bit of a fight too. You wouldn't have just knocked him out. He's a rough and tough dude. He would have smothered you. He would have backed you up a little bit. And we know you're not good going backwards, though, Spence. So you would have had your difficulties, man. Styles make fights. But at the end of the day, man, nobody's perfect. Everybody got their weaknesses. But you got to give a man credit. You're not just athletic. Bud is just not athletic either, man. Neither one of y'all are just athletic. Y'all have skills. Y'all have things y'all bring to the table. You know, you have a good jab, Errol Spence. You go to the body. You come forward. You throw a lot of punches. Bud is a great counterpuncher. He could switch. He got good footwork. He got power. He throws combinations. He throws good uppercuts. I mean, listen, man, it is what it is. That's more than athletic. That's what they want to say about Boots, right? He's just athletic. After you watch that last performance, that's what you call athletic? No, man, that's skill, man. That's being patient. That's being diligent. That's being wise. That's being smart. Like his father told him in the fight, let the knockout come. Don't go looking for it. And then he got it. So that's more than athleticism, man. That's pure skill. No, man. Even Roy Jones had skill. He wasn't just athletic. He might have had an awkward style and an awkward way he threw the jab and certain punches and the lunging and stuff, but he still had some skill to what he was doing. It took a skill for him to stop the fighters that he stopped and the way that he did it. When you stop somebody with a body shot, that's skill. That's not athleticism. That's skill. Because you got to place the punch in the right place. And it got to be hard enough to do the damage. And you have to set that up. Boxing is an art. Some are more skilled than others. Some have more athleticism than others. But there's very few fighters that's just athletic and have no skill. And Bud is not one of those. He's a very skilled fighter. And I believe you guys are going to find out on the 29th. Again, like I said, if he could get credit for beating Kell Brook, then Bud should get credit for beating Kell Brook 3 years later, coming off of 3 wins and 2 of them stoppages. And he never complained. He got stopped earlier. And he said, he gave both of y'all credit. Gave Spence credit and Crawford. But he said Crawford has that snap to his punch, to his power punch. It's like a snap. And it's hard. And it's mean. And it is what it is, man. It stopped him. Okay? He got Sean Porter out of there with an uppercut, bro. I mean, it is what it is, man. You got to give him credit. But it's all right. If you don't give him credit, then he'll just earn it. It is what it is. But let me know what y'all think, y'all. Peace and blessings in this corner box 24. Please subscribe to the page. Please leave a comment. Everybody enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace.